this is you. You're a light being, a fifth dimensional being. That's who you already are, right? You are who you are, okay? And we're all riding this thing we call life, which is just riding a wave of space-time. Human being, the human part of you is the physical part, the thing part. The being part of you is the non-physical, no thing part. This is the greater part of you that's experiencing this. We're riding space-time, so let's just look at space. You got left and right, you got forward and back, and you got up and down. X, Y, Z, 3 dimensions. So let's just say that this ball represents space, right? And you're experiencing space and time. Time is the movement of space from one point to the other point, okay? When you look at the passage of time, it starts from this point, this now, to this point, that now, to that point, that now, right? That's the passage of time. The movement of space from one point to the other is what we call time. But the being that is you is experiencing that from a different dimension, just like you're watching this from a different dimension. So this whole thing would be space, and the movement of this space is time. This is the ride that we're riding. So we sleep and we awaken, we sleep and we awaken. Part of what I'm attempting to do is show people the maximum potential that we have as human beings. So we're riding this physical spaceship that we call a body. The blue pill is stuck in the physical aspect of it. We have to get above the clouds and above the turbulence to experience the being part of us, which is there the whole time. But it's hard to see and hard to experience when there's turbulence. A lot of this reality is meant to keep you below the clouds. The people that get above the clouds, if you will, they try to deify them. There's people that try to control us to keep us from getting above the clouds. Even on the spiritual journey, you're going to have ups and downs. I'm using airplanes. Imagine we're meant to fly. And an airplane even spends time on the ground, okay? If it's on the ground, it's refueling, it's getting maintenance, it's, doing something. But it's meant to be in the air. So we're meant to fly. That's our potential. That's our range. But humanity has been limited to a certain range, keeping us under the turbulence, right? So Victor Bang means victory over noise, getting above the clouds. There are air traffic controllers, if you will, and we can just call them the 1%, if you will, that try to limit us to below the clouds. When we get into that turbulence, that can be some shaky things, but if we keep pushing forward, we'll get above the clouds. Just because you get above the clouds, just because you're awakened or awakening, doesn't mean that you might not go back down to lower vibrations, right? We experience all of that emotion. As you go down, you don't have to stay down very long. And then you can get to the point where you're refueling in the air, if you will. There's entities and there's beings that try to keep us lower because they can control this aspect of it. They can't control that aspect of it. And part of this spiritual journey is realizing that potential. And it's your own journey. You're piloting your own ship to get above the clouds. One of the ways that they keep us below the clouds is the people that do get up here, the beings that do get up here, they deify them and they say that they're the one and only. But these beings are just like you, and they have bodies just like you, and they're human beings just like you. And the whole thing is to realize who you are and your ability to maximize your potential. Once we start doing this on a collective level, then this is the reality that we're creating, a higher reality, a higher consciousness reality for humanity that we get to experience.